I wrap this up with the fact of also by saying that these days are not literal 24-hour periods of time, but are lengths of time, long periods of time, possibly, all right? That we aren't going away from the historical aspect of the text. Why is this text, in your opinion, an historical account and not a poetic account?
There are too many signs in the text that really point all the way toward it being a historical narrative rather than a poetical piece. There is so much attention given to definition. What is a sea? What is land? What is light? What is day? There's so much attention given to using a Hebrew narrative form, which is used all through the Bible. It's very, very distinctive. It's not the same as you would find in poetry. He distinguishes, has a direct object indicator never found, or very, very seldom, would only be 1 in a million times in poetry where you would have that, or sort of relative pronouns. All of these kinds of linguistic features are never found in poetry, but here they are in this account.
And there are no time markers. I mean, the time markers
and the time
are in
markers
Genesis
too
1.
as well.
You won't find them in Psalm 104 or Job 38 or Proverbs 8.
So wrap this up in terms of what do we have here? What does it open the door to in terms of our investigating first Scripture, but then also taking a solid look at the record of nature?
The literary genre is going to give us a clue as to how we read it. When we read a newspaper, we go from one literary type to another. I don't read the funnies the same way I read the want ads, as I read the editorials, as I read the first page. Every one of them calls for a different literary genre. I make that switch because I know newspapers. When I'm reading the Bible and I'm getting historical narrative, I take that text as sober, straightforward, natural meanings, and I go with it in the stream of history. So therefore, just as I read a newspaper and pay attention to the shifts, I ought to be able to do that when I read Psalm 104. I'm not reading the same way as I read Genesis 1. Genesis 1 is an historical narrative. Psalm 104 is put in terms of worship so that I can put it in poetry and in song and an anthem to the living God. It calls for all these gifts that God has given to us in the gift of language.
Okay, Mr. Language Expert, talk to the atheist, skeptic, scientist like he was, okay, who says, I'm seeing some things out here in science that are starting to make me think that maybe there is a God that created this whole ball game. So give me some hope when I'm coming to this Bible of yours. What should I expect to find?
You ought to expect harmony. You ought to expect that it has the imprint of the same maker, same architect, same person that gave the written word is the same one who has put his handiwork in the skies, put his handiwork in the universe. The blueprint is all over. And the more I penetrate, the deeper I go into that universe, the more questions I'm going to have, unless I also level it out and say, must have been the same one who gave the word, who gave this universe to as well.